Welcome back to the Nerdrotic Nooner. My name is Gary Beekler. I come to you from nerdrotic.com, and I am live in San Francisco, sunny San Francisco, California, today, the day before Avengers Endgame. And let's start out this live stream with, I got to get a little dad on you. No spoilers, please. And I've asked twice nicely in the chat, and this will be the last time I ask nicely. Mods, please be ready. I know Jeremy just had to shut down his stream because of them, and I don't want to have to do the same. I like live streaming. I want to talk about what could happen, and I'm going to talk a lot about the effect it will have on the comic book industry, no matter what happens, and the effect Brie Larson is going to have on this, or maybe no effect at all. We will see. Well, she's already had an effect. I mean, let's be real about that. Also, it's not in the title. We will be talking about the Picard series. Not so fast, CBS. I've got some interesting news from my other insider that confirms my other insider, which is very interesting. Some very interesting stuff coming from that. We also, on the good side, I'm going to talk about Cobra Kai. Now, I did a review on Nerdrotic Live. That's my other channel. Please go subscribe there. And I covered the first episode. There is a little bit of spoilers for the episode in there. I can tell you right now, it's worth signing up for YouTube Premium just to watch that show, because that show is how you bring a franchise back. That is the path. That is the way. That is the template. You hear that? Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who. So, and if the spoilers get too bad, I'll just start talking about Doctor Who or something else. I can steer the conversation as much as I can. So, mods, you might be busy today. Doomcock, yes, my good friend Doomcock reported today that the Picard series, the filming that was announced on the Shieldtastic comicbook.com that is owned by CBS is only it's like second unit filming, basic filming, because the licensees haven't signed on for anything from this show and haven't signed on for anything from Star Trek Discovery. Now, one of my sources has been saying the same thing that Doomcock has been saying, that the show is none of the licensees wanted anything to do with the aesthetic of the show. They don't like that Picard is going to possibly be heading up Section 31, and this different Picard is going to be at that. It's going to be Patrick Stewart playing a different character that's called Jean-Luc Picard, but it will not be the Jean-Luc Picard that we know and love from the TV show, which begs the question, why the hell would I want to watch somebody called Jean-Luc Picard, even though it's played by the same character, if they're not acting like the same character? Kind of like how Tyrion's acting in Game of Thrones right now, although it might be a ruse. It might be a ruse. Okay, so we could definitely have predictions. I don't think it's going out on a limb saying that maybe some characters are going to die. I don't think it's going on a limb saying that Thanos will probably be defeated in some way. If they go with anything within the comics, not going to say how, not going to say when, but just please respect the people in here. I try not to put too many rules here. I don't really like getting into party politics. And that's, God, the whole reason I make some of these videos. I wanted to talk about escapism and entertainment. And I'm pretty excited. I got to say, I was on the High Council last night, and thank you, Jeremy and Jeff, for inviting me on. It was a great time was had by all. It was 5 hours. And we talked about, has Brie Larson and Captain Marvel's involvement in this hurt my enjoyment of the film? And yeah, the answer is yes. It's a small percentage, but yes, 10, 15%. I'm going to cringe every time she shows up, and hopefully it's not much. Hopefully it's not much. I'm going to see it tomorrow at 7 p.m. Pacific time, and then I will be live right afterwards. I'll drive home, and I'll start a live stream, and we can, well, basically be me and you night owls and our friends in Europe talking about it, because it'll probably be close to midnight, because I believe this is a 3-hour film. And yeah, so real quick, let's get to some super chats, and I'll get to the chat. And we'll get to some news. All out of bubblegum, $5. Hi, Gary. I will be listening to the show while I drive into work this afternoon. It's going to be a great day. It certainly is, even if my back is in pain. Oh, no. Why are you going to work? Is it because of work? I hope not. I can definitely relate to back pain. I've lived with it for 20 years. So yeah, it sucks, but I got my cortisone shot and it has been like, I felt like, man, I feel like I'm 35. It's been great. My God, I've been up in my workouts and I was able to get on the plane. It was fantastic. The shot sucked, but oh well. All out of bubblegum. Thank you, my friend. The Rookie Critic. What is up? The Rookie Critic, one of the great members of the Fandom Menace. Good human being. Does a lot of fun videos. Great channel. Go check it out. He will be streaming with Midnight's Edge After Dark at 3 p.m. Pacific time. I should be done by then, unless I start getting super, as my dad used to call it, diarrhea of the mouth. Yeah. I've been known to talk a lot. It's a thing. And thank God I found an outlet for it. You are welcome to come. I don't know if you're referring to the chat, which I will certainly send everybody over there when I'm done. And yeah. As far as me, I don't know. I have 2 videos I need to get done. I need to get a Game of Thrones recap. I'm going to try to make them a little different because I do recaps live with Doomcock afterwards. But this one's going to be mainly about that one scene, because I have a great title. Sometimes you just got to make the video because you have a great title. I couldn't really, and I reserve the right to use this MCU to Brie or not to Brie in a video, just like the MCU going for woke. I'm like, that's a good title. I got to make a video about that. The Rookie Critic, you're awesome. Thank you, man. Thank you for the $2. Mr. Chuck Nasty for $10. I have been talking to people I work with, and I told them in order to avoid spoilers, they are going to have to start releasing movies on streaming service right after a world premiere. Chuck Nasty, thank you for the $10. And yes, you know what? You want to avoid spoilers. Just release the goddamn movie. Don't do world premieres. Don't do all that crap. Listen, a world premiere is such a 20th century model. And that's the future. The future is streaming. They tried to do it with Transformers. I don't know if any of you remember this. They were considering taking the first Transformers movie and putting it on pay-per-view for $50 the day it came out. The movie theaters rebelled, and they still have a lot of power right now, and it got shut down. I remember hearing about this at the comic store because a friend of mine had worked for the local cable company and they were talking about it. And I was actually considering doing a viewing party, but that was precisely one of the reasons they didn't do it. They knew people would do viewing parties. And yeah, so there it goes there. Thank you, Mr. Chuck Nasty. You're not nasty. I mean, in a good way. In a good way, you're nasty. Richardson's ATA, 99 cents. Thank you for the donation, my friend. Thank you. And I don't know if you all saw Cobra Kai. I am just in the best mood from watching Cobra Kai. It was joy. It was pure joy. It picked up right where it left off. It doesn't have the sophomore jinx. It feels exactly the same as season 1, which was utter perfection. I've said there's two franchises that have come back right. And it is the template. How do you do it? Ash versus Evil Dead, the first 2 seasons, especially, and Cobra Kai. Perfection. The Rookie Critic, $2. I'll send you an invite. It's okay if you can't. Well, thank you. And you know what? I'll make time. I'll come by for a little bit. How's that sound? I can't say no. I love live streaming, and I love those guys, and you too, Rookie Critic. All right, let's get to the chat here. Mark Lazur, thank you for showing up with your wrench. I do appreciate it. I don't know if you're solo right now. Spartan Jeremy, Nerdrotic. I watched all 5 hours of the council. It was cool. Spartan, you are truly a Spartan. This is Sparta. You are an animal for watching all 5 hours. That's great. Thanks, man. Another great member of the Fandom Menace. I am a proud member of the Fandom Menace. I know I don't talk a ton about Star Wars. That's going to change. It's going to change. But I have been a fan and a subscriber to World Class Bullshitters, EVS, Comic Artist. I subscribed to Comic Artist Pro Secrets, when he had a couple thousand subscribers. World Class Bullshitters when they had 4,000 subscribers, and Geeks and Gamers when he was under 18,000, I think. It was very early on. And I had been listening to him and I just didn't subscribe until later. Jeremy, Ethan, and World Class Bullshitters got me through some pretty grim times at work, I'll just say. And it wasn't really work's fault. I got to say this. Tesla's a pretty fantastic place to work as far as a job is concerned. The benefits are great. There's some douchey bosses, but I think all bosses are douchey. But honestly, my coworkers were cool as hell. Most of them. And they try to make it as fun as possible. So I don't mean to besmirch Tesla or Elon. I love Elon. I was just, it was time for me to go. It's me. It was not you, Elon. It was not you. Elon is we need more Elons in the world, to be honest with you. We need more CEOs toking on podcasts, and I don't even smoke weed. Instead of Brie getting the killing blow, Doc Manhattan should show up, and the Phase 4 will be the new 52. Well, it might turn into that. And let's talk about that right now. Okay, I don't know anything about this movie, spoiler-wise, and I'm not going to talk about it. But I'm going to safely assume that a couple of characters will either die or walk off into the sunset. My hope is nobody dies. I mean, yeah, I know. I don't want anybody to die. And here's why I don't want anybody to die. And please don't discuss it if you know. Because I think these roles should be recast. Yes, they should be recast. We didn't shut down James Bond when Sean Connery left, because James Bond is a bigger character than Sean Connery. We didn't shut it down when Roger Moore left. We didn't shut it down when Timothy Dalton left or Pierce Brosnan, because the character is bigger than the actor. We didn't shut down the Joker after Jack Nicholson played it, then Heath Ledger, and now Joaquin Phoenix looks like he might be doing a good job too in a movie I'm not sure we need, but it looks pretty good. Cesar Romero, these characters are bigger than the actors. So yes, I know it's hard to think about this as with, Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, and Robert Downey Jr. in particular. These roles should be recast. And the reason they should be recast is, okay, is DC going to kill Batman? So say the DCEU gets their crap together and they do a big 10-year thing. And at the end, are they going to kill Batman? Hell no, they're not going to kill Batman. They want Bruce Wayne Batman to go on forever. You recast Batman. You do the same with Captain America. You do the same with Iron Man. It's not a mantle. Captain America is not a mantle. Other people can play Captain America for a little while, like Bucky Barnes. I'm not really for the Sam Wilson is the Falcon. He's a great character as the Falcon, and I would like him to remain the Falcon. Steve Rogers is Captain America. It's not anybody else. It's not a mantle. It's not like the Green Lantern is a mantle. That works because DC made it work. There's multiple Flashes. Why? Because DC committed and made it work. Honestly, this is something Nerdrotic Jr. and I talk about all the time. My Flash is Wally West. I mean, I remember Barry Allen when I was a little kid, but in my prime comic book reading time, Wally West became the Flash, and he was my Flash. So there's certain heroes that absolutely can be mantles, but not Captain America. That's like making Superman a mantle. It's just not. So I know a lot of people probably disagree with me on this one, but I think they should be recast. If you want to like retire the character for a few years between recasting, I'm fine with that. That's okay. But I remember Sony's original plan for Spider-Man, which they should have stuck with, which was they were going to recast Spider-Man like James Bond every few years, get new directors in, and just make adventures. But then the whole trilogy thing that needs to be broken, in my opinion. Especially with superhero storytelling. It's serialized storytelling. So we should treat it like a James Bond film from the 60s and 70s. They just go on a particular adventure. They can refer back to stuff once in a while. And that way you're not too hooked on continuity. You can modernize stuff all you want. And honestly, as time goes on, if DC and Warner Brothers can get their crap together, they have a better model for film than Marvel, because Marvel is stuck in one continuity. And this is the danger of having it tied into the MCU. Here's the fallout. Say you get rid of, I'm not going to say which characters to not bring on any spoilers, but say a couple characters, you get rid of them. Well, then you have it so tied into the comic books now, then is Disney going to have the feeling they don't need to continue that character in the comics? Or better yet, something we talked about on the High Council, does Disney want to get rid of these characters so they can have their Disney Marvel Captain America and Disney Marvel Iron Man or Ironheart, which was an utter failure? These are questions we need to ask. And what is going to be the impact on well, we already see the impact on comic stores with Marvel Comics. It is death. It's not even apocalypse. It's done. It's in hospice. The comic book retailing industry is in hospice. I was just talking, actually, my old manager came in from New York, who used to manage my comic store, and we had a little chit chat yesterday afternoon. That's why I didn't do the Twitch stream. He kind of surprised me. And we talked about Midtown. He worked at Midtown Comics in New York, and even they're being hit. So even the big boys are being hit right now. All right, we're going to get to the chat a little bit. Good to see you, Brian Smart. Thanks for coming with the wrench. And Rookie Critic again for $2. Props to all the mods this next week. Yeah, right? Right. And there's so many good mods. We got Mary Ashmead. We got the great Stephanie B out there. And we got Mark Lazarth. We got Brian Smart in here, and Chris Persia, and Pam Farm Girl, and Jody, all loyal wrenches here. Nihilist, I always get Nihilist Shadow and Silhouetted Animator for some reason mixed up. I don't know why. Sorry, guys. Andrew Titchner for $5. If you're in the chat, don't be like Brie. Don't spoil Endgame. Yes, that was well played, sir. Well played. So I mean, I know people are gonna, there's no way somebody can play Cap better than Chris Evans. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Robert Downey Jr. would probably be the hardest to replace, but it's possible. Again, they replaced Sean Connery. Now, some people will argue they never truly replaced him, but I'm a Roger Moore guy. I grew up with the Roger Moore. I agree that Sean Connery embodies Bond a little more than Roger Moore, but Roger Moore was the one I grew up with. I got Moonraker. Okay, some people got Doctor No. I got Moonraker, but I liked it. Hey, Gary, I've been a patron for a bit now. Where's my comics? Jane Mitchell, you will get your comics this week, Janelle. I usually wait 2 or 3 months. It has to cycle through. It should be somewhere in maybe I changed that. But yeah, you'll get them this week. I didn't see the movie, but now everything in Endgame. Yeah. Jeremy was pretty upset. He had to end a stream, and I don't want to have to do it either. Why does Australia get the early movie premieres some of the time? Because they're a day ahead, maybe. Or maybe because they have a lot of people named Bruce. I don't know. Moonraker. Yes, I loved Moonraker. Warren Mitchell, thank you for the £1 donation. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, Janelle. Yeah, no, it's good. So totally okay to ask that. I usually wait 2 or 3 months. I have sent some out. I sent some out prior to me leaving, but I kind of lagged since I got back. So no, you will have yours by what's today? Wednesday. We'll say Monday. I'm sending it first class mail. So I liked Roger Moore, James Bond, because it was fun and didn't take itself seriously. Yeah. And Bond, kind of needs to go back. I don't know. It kind of needs to go back to that. It definitely does not need to go feminist. James Bond is the embodiment of masculinity, and it's not toxic. It's just, it is what it is. You know what? There's some ladies out there that like James Bond and like that kind of guy. Actually, there's a lot. I would say majority. Jor123, great job, Gary. Thank you very much. Am I saying that right? J-Roar or Jor? Or Jor? Or like Jorah, Mormont from Game of Thrones. Bryce Brierly, RDG actually made comics Tony Stark better. And you are right. That is a very rare case that they embodied him into the Tony Stark character, because what RDJ did with Tony Stark is he took the idea of him and inserted a lot more layers, a lot more, a personality. Because let's be real, most of the comic book superheroes, especially the ones from the 60s, 70s, 80s, were all pretty stoic, all pretty brave, and let's go get the bad guys. RDJ brought a layer of humanity that we've never really seen in Tony Stark, and he embodied the part. He found the Tony Stark that was always there that nobody knew was there. Does that make sense? Golden Gun, Live and Let Die, Spy, and Moonraker was Bond at its best. Danielle Jones, yes. Oh my God, I love Man with the Golden Gun. I know a lot of people don't like that one, but I love that one. And Live and Let Die has one of the best theme songs. And that one's great. That one's probably my favorite. And Casino Royale. I like Casino Royale. That's good stuff. Number 1, Goldfinger. Number 2, Skyfall. Number 3, Goldeneye. Number 4, Casino Royale. You Only Live Twice. Number 5, Gentleman Trout. All right, I like all those movies. I hated old grumpy Bond. Love Craig's Bond. I like Craig's Bond. I just don't think he's been given a ton. I kind of love the proposition as self-righteous Carol Danvers being the OP villain through phase 4. That would be a subverted expectation that I would like, that you bring this character in and then she flips and becomes the villain. They're not going to do that, but that would actually really be cool. Did you have a hero go bad, like something bad, like maybe she is say she gets her memory back. Here, I'm going to try to make Captain Marvel good within the MCU. So she gets her memory back and she starts remembering some of the atrocities she committed as a Kree. And I'm talking about setup in the MCU. I don't necessarily agree with this. I think the Skrulls are a villain. So, and she just kind of goes mad. I think kind of like Parallax. Little Green Lantern Parallax going on, and she like wipes out a town or does something like totally unforgivable, and then just becomes a psychotic bad guy. Then you can OP the hell out of her and have all the heroes have to fight her. And listen, you still show a strong woman, and it would be viable. The one problem I had with Thor Ragnarok is I needed to hate Hela a little more than I did. Maybe because she was played by Kate Blanchett, who I love. And I was seeing was Galadriel there, and I'm like, I don't hate Galadriel. I like Galadriel. And I like Kate Blanchett. And she's not a good villain. She wasn't very good. She was a terrible villain in Indiana Jones as well. Are you properly caffeinated? Oh, Bruce Lombardo. Let's open that right now. I'm gonna throughout my live stream, I will be opening PO Box stuff. So Bruce Lombardo knows how to get to my heart, my cold black little heart. And you do it this way with coffee. I wish you could smell this. It smells so good. So this coffee, it's called Black Rifle. The Black Rifle, very Second Amendment coffee company here. I like that. Brilliant. Oh, cool. And I will put this on my new laptop. Bruce Lombardo, thank you. I will have a cup of coffee from that tomorrow morning. You rock. Thank you very much for the $1.99 super chat. And thank you for sending that to my PO box. And in a little bit, I'll just kind of sprinkle it through. I got some really, really cool stuff, and it's pretty close to me. Sergey Berengard, Canadian. Oh, a Canuck, Canadian $10. Hey, Gary, love your streams. Thanks for all the inspiration. Keep up all the good work. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad I inspire anybody. That's brilliant to hear. Thank you. I will do my very best. All right. And Warren Mitchell, thanks again for the £1 donation. I greatly appreciate it, my friend. Okay. Scarecrow 2311. You asked earlier, who should we cast as Warlock? Oh man, it's got to be somebody who's got, doesn't necessarily have to be a blonde person, but it has to be somebody who's got kind of other earthly features. For a joke, I was going to say William Zabka from Cobra Kai, but yeah, that's a good question. I'll have to get back to you on that one. What's up, Montana Horseman? What's up, cranky old geek? Hella. Maybe not the best villain, but she was pretty freaking hot. That was kind of the problem. I was too busy looking at her. Kate Blanchett just doesn't age. I'm pretty sure it's bathing in the blood of virgins or something, or babies. I don't know. I'm not quite sure, but she does not age. Donnie Biggerstaff, I don't know, because we're not going to talk about, we can theorize what we think is going to happen. I think there would be a moment, I don't think it's going out on a limb, that Captain Marvel will come in and save everybody's butt. I just don't know what the context will be, because there are times it could work as long as it's not. Listen, if this thing, and I don't, this is, again, I don't know anything about the movie other than the one video I did about a haircut. That's the only thing I know. But if she comes in and she's like the main reason they possibly defeat Thanos without knowing anything about the movie, because we're not doing any spoilers, I would have a huge problem with that. Now, if she comes in as backup and like maybe whatever bad guy horde is like about to kill Captain Marvel or Spider-Man or something like that, and she fights it off, I don't have a problem with that. That's fine. But if they bring her in like they've said this, she is the Superman of the Marvel Comics and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You know why? One of the reasons Marvel doesn't have a Superman. That Marvel is very different from DC Comics. I know if you're somebody who doesn't read comic books, you're not going to quite, or maybe you do, but there's a huge difference between DC and Marvel. Giant. They are nothing alike, other than they have men and women in tights. But their worlds are completely different. They're set up completely different. The heroes act completely different. Marvel was born, its era was the 60s. And it's that is still very much ingrained in Marvel, is the time they were born. DC, the DC that we're reading, kind of rose about 10 years prior to that. Now, I know it goes back to the Golden Age and stuff, but it recycled. And we're talking about Stan Lee. And why am I blanking on his name now? Oh my Lord, hang on a second. He was kind of the Stan Lee version of oh God, I've met him. I hate this when this happens on live streams. Hang on, I'll answer this. I have his signature on books. It's gonna have to come to me later. So there was an editor that was a lot like Stan Lee, who I'm completely blanking on the name now, even though I can visualize his face. He got shown the door in the late 70s, but he was the DC Stan Lee. So the point I'm making though is DC is very much built on like an early 60s, late 50s ideal, and Marvel, and it's also more of a fantasy world. They have, fake cities and stuff. And if you read JLA and Avengers, the crossover, they talk about how Earth is a little larger than the Earth in the Marvel universe. And yeah, it's God dang it, I hate this. So he's basically the guy who designed the Flash costume in the late 50s, early 60s, and the Green Lantern. And I'm blanking on his name. He also drew, not Steve Ditko. It's God, it sucks. Hang on, it's killing me now. Now I got to find out. So I'll just go to the Flash Wikipedia. Oh my God. I mean, I could find my picture on Facebook with him. Okay. So he drew Spider-Woman for a while. He's a great artist for Marvel. Publisher, what are they created by? Not Archie Goodwin. He drew. Oh, this sucks. Bob Newhart. That's it. I'm going to move on until the spoilers equals timeout. Yep. Yeah. Do not talk about Avengers. You can talk about emotions. I don't have a problem with Muhammad saying he's sad. That's fine. I think we're all going to be sad at the end because it's the end of the MCU and it could be the end of comics, but go any farther than that, gone. And if it gets too bad, I'm going to have to cut off the live stream. Sorry, but I do not want to spoil it for. Did you guys see the precautions I went through in my video when I was going to talk about a visual spoiler that would spoil nothing from the plot? I even did a countdown, for Christ's sake. Could somebody please help my brain? The person for DC Comics who designed the Silver Age Flash and Green Lantern costumes. And he was an editor and he got fired from DC. He was supposed to sign when Superman and Spider-Man crossed over for the first time in the Treasury edition. There is a very limited run that was supposed to be signed by the editor of DC and Marvel. Well, only Stan Lee signed it, and inside there's a little sheet that you get that explains that I can't remember his name. So and so can't sign it because he no longer works with the company. And I have it, but I can't run downstairs and get it. But you go. So that guy, if he would have stayed at DC, a lot of things might have been different. George Malho, $49.99. Wow. Hey there. Ho there. Hi there, Gary. If Steve is gone after Endgame as Captain America, do you think it will follow the old series Marvel and have Bucky become new Cap or go some woke direction like they're talking about a female Thor? Love your show. Thank you, George. Yes, I think they're going to go all new, all different. I don't know what's going to happen in the movie. But the talk of a female, they've been setting us up for this for years now. So yes, it's happening. They're going to go all new, all different. Now, I think they feel like they can bridge the gap by having Spider-Man, but they might not have Spider-Man. This might be it for Spider-Man. If I was Sony, I wouldn't sign up with the MCU again. I mean, I'm against this completely, but if I was Sony, I would see that, well, Venom did good and Into the Spider-Verse did good. We don't need them anymore. They signed up with Marvel because Sony was about to sell. They were done. And unfortunately, us fans, including myself, went and saw Venom and Into the Spider-Verse. And by us going to those movies, we emboldened Sony to think that they are all of a sudden smart and they're going to get Spider-Man back and do the same crap they did before. And we will get Tom Holland, I believe, for 1 or 2 movies for Sony. I think he's got like a 5-picture deal. Not sure. Not really sure. Was drawn by Michael Burnham. Thank you, Jack Random. That's right. Michael Burnham was the editor of DC. Here, I'll try one more time to look. God dang it. And like it's like his name has been scrubbed from history. The Flash's Age costume. Carmine Infantino. God dang it. I hate getting old. Carmine Infantino was a great artist. And yeah, I don't need, so Carmine Infantino was basically the Stan Lee of DC. Now, not as prolific by any stretch of the imagination, but just he's the one who helped inspire Stan Lee to do what he did at Marvel. So Carmine Infantino does not get his props. And let me just, since I built this all up, let me give you my Carmine Infantino story because it's great. So I see him at Comic-Con sitting by himself. This was in early 2000s, right before he died. He had an oxygen tank. So he had his little oxygen thing going, sitting completely by himself. So I'm like, oh my God, this guy like drew some of the spider. Here, I'll show you some of his art. Like, he's freaking great. Carmine Infantino, Spider Woman. Bum, bum, bum. Where is his version of Spider Woman? I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Okay, right here. This guy was a kick-ass artist. Okay. This is obviously with modern colors and stuff. That is not. I don't like. I don't like modern coloring. It's too brown. I don't know. I just don't like it. Man, I'm old fashioned. Carmine Infantino was badass and drew like just a really good looking Spider Woman. Okay, let's be real here. So he's sitting there by himself at Comic-Con at a table. And, I'm an old guy, so I love going to the old guys. And he did a sketch. So he'll do a sketch for $50. And I asked him to sketch Spider Woman, and he couldn't remember what she looked like. So it was early 2000s. So it's not like, I think I had a phone that you could pull up a picture on, but it was like that big. So I ran over. There's this Israeli guy who's at every Comic-Con, has been going for 30 years. He's got giant tables and he sells the big comic sets. Some of you might know who I'm talking about. I ran to him and he didn't have any single issues of Spider-Man. So I ended up buying a complete set of Spider-Woman. I think it was 1 through whatever, cost me like $100. And I ran back there. And of course there's nobody else in line for Carmine Infantino. So I showed him what Spider-Woman looks like. And then he drew me the shittiest sketch for $50 ever. And I love it. I don't care, but it's terrible. He was old, but while he's drawing this sketch, Stan Lee walks by and he's sitting there drawing, and Stan Lee walks by with this entourage and everybody goes ape shit. And they're, oh, Stan. And he looks up and he's all, that motherfucker. I was like, no way. He's all, look, he gets all that attention. He thinks he's good. It was great. It was great. And I've heard Stan cuss too. If you go to Comic-Con, you'll hear all your heroes cuss if you stay there long enough. Stan cussed when I won a charity thing to go meet him and take a picture with him on a yacht and have lunch with him. And I had one of the most surreal lunches I've ever had. I had lunch with Stan Lee and the drummer for System of a Down. So we're standing there in the back waiting for my picture. And it wasn't just me, it was a few people there. And then Lloyd Kaufman from Troma comes walking by with a freaking marching band and a bunch of like girls that, okay, I'm going to try to be as respectful as I can. We'll say, and I don't usually do this, but I have to do this to paint a picture, ladies. So I apologize. I don't usually rate women 1 to 10. It's never been one of my things. But I would say Lloyd Kaufman rolls up with a marching band and a bunch of 5s with like short shorts on and all dressed like young girls. So it's a bunch of 30-year-old, 35-year-old women who are 5s dressed as young girls with like a weird, like 3-piece marching band. And he's all dancing and being weird. And he rolls up to Stan and interrupts the whole charity event. And Stan drops an F-bomb right in front of me. I didn't know Stan could cuss, but he dropped an F-bomb. And the funny thing is, and the crappy thing is I have video of this. I got to dig it up of right up until he drops the F-bomb. Let's get to the super chat. I hope you enjoyed that story. Comic-Con can be fun. You gotta, but none of the fun really happens on the floor. It's on the outside. You know what's funny about Comic-Con now is the parties are much better. And the whole fact that there's parties at Comic-Con tells you how much it's changed. The fact that there's girls there tells you how much it's changed. There was always women at Comic-Con, but it was like 15%, 10. And I mean, I'm not counting the booth babes. Last year, it was half women. So they have made, they've done really well on getting more women into Comic-Con and stuff. Unfortunately, they're not buying comic books, which hopefully you'd think will be the whole point. But TJ Paris, $5. You are not wrong about the direction of the MCU. Look at the order of the cast billing on Endgame's IMDb page for evidence. Oh, we will look at that. All the women were first, right? So what we're getting here is the great correction to the Time's Up era. And Time's Up is, it means exactly that. What happened was Harvey Weinstein. This was happening before. There was a movement, but Harvey Weinstein happened. He was a creep and a dick and an a-hole, and a group used that to gain power, and now we are getting what we're getting. It's got nothing to do with justice or making things right. It's just a certain group of elites taking power from another certain group of elites. And somehow the fans get blamed in all this crap when we just simply react to something. It becomes our fault. That is the new MO. It's like, hey, because producers don't listen. I'm going to say something that might be very unpopular about Kevin Feige, because it has been his, oh my God. You are not kidding. Brie Larson is the star of Avengers Endgame. Wow. Okay, I'll show this in a second, but real quick, Kevin Feige is a producer in Hollywood. You don't get that powerful, you don't rise that far without being a complete lying a-hole. Nice producers don't exist. It is not, the system isn't set up that way. And honestly, you can't hate him. It's the game. He plays the game. He's famously passive aggressive. So when you hear him saying stuff out loud like, oh, I love Brie Larson, stuff like that, don't believe it for a second. He's going to say whatever that helps his brand look good outside, and he's going to do something completely opposite, like most passive aggressive people do. And that's Kevin Feige. You don't become successful without ruffling a lot of feathers. I'm sure he stepped on a lot of people. He was trained by Avi Arad. Come on. Okay, folks, take a look at this. He is not wrong. This is incredible. So, guys, it's kind of like Star Trek Discovery. Yeah. All right. So, Avengers Endgame. See all these people right here? Well, see that. So, starring Brie Larson, Linda Cardellini as Laura Barton, Scarlett Johansson, Karen Gillan, Tessa Thompson before Robert Downey Jr. I'm surprised they didn't put Evangeline Lilly up there. And no, it can't be alphabetical because I see Josh Brolin down here and I see Haley Atwell down here, who certainly should be above Linda Cardellini, who hasn't even shown up in anything yet. Tessa Thompson is Valkyrie. Can we talk about Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie? That's some bullshit. There's no Broomhilda. Broomhilda. I'm going to show you guys what Valkyrie looks like. God damn, she's one of my favorites. I have this image on my computer because I'm going to. Oh, you might not know this. I dabble in art. I art. That was fucking good. I draw, I illustrate, I paint. And I'm going to paint on a huge canvas this picture someday. Once I find it, and right there. It's a I believe this is a Sal Buscemi Valkyrie. Oh, come on. God, too many screens up. Sorry, folks. I mean, the payoff of this probably won't be that great, but this is Valkyrie. That is Valkyrie. So when you start playing with stuff like that, and listen, there are African women, female characters in the Marvel Universe that you could just use. You know, if you would have, I don't know, made peace with the TV division MCU, you could have had Daredevil and Luke Cage in this movie, which was always alluded to. And that's right there. That's another disappointment. I'm going to say out loud, Daredevil not being in the MCU. What the hell? What the hell? Daredevil is one of the most popular characters of Marvel. He is my, God, probably current favorite Marvel character. That is my girl. Metal boobs and all. And straight up, I want the metal boobs. You know, like these characters, the reason they're popular is because of that costume. Like the current costumes now, and I know why they dumb down costumes, because they want to make it easier to cosplayers, because cosplayers ruined everything. But a true cosplayer doesn't want the costume dumbed down. They want it harder to make. That's why it stops being special when superheroes are wearing jeans and trench coats. I always hated, you know, unless it's on Gambit, I never was down with like the X-Men wearing coats. You know, it's like, why? Let's get back to the super chats here. But yeah, that thanks. That IMDb was special. That was special. Jack Random for $2 said Flash and Green Lantern were drawn by Michael Burnham. They were conceived by Michael Burnham. Michael Burnham came up with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. She did. A pop culture minefield, $5. Yo, Gary. It's the other Gary. Big news. Susan Layton joins Pop Culture Minefield show tomorrow. So you know, Keith and I love your show. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And I'm glad to hear Susan is joining. She's good. I'm glad to hear that. Have fun. I'll try to listen. Good old Susan. She's not old. You know what I meant. Susan's awesome. Yeah, TJ Paris, thank you very much. Brian Smart, $5. Have you seen the YouTube Fizz Pop 1? Fantastic videos about comic book history. You should check them out. I will, Brian. Thanks. Thank you for the $5. Chris Persia, Canadian, $5. One good thing with Endgame, the original Avengers get to walk away before it becomes a truly hot mess. Yes. And listen, you know, without knowing what's going on, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, we'll see. Kevin Feige himself said the end of this phase is Spider-Man Far From Home, not Avengers Endgame. Now, I know why he said that, but Spider-Man Far From Home is not a movie. Listen, the fact that I'm not really extremely excited for a Spider-Man movie says it all. Thank you, Chris. Dunning-Kruger for $10. I've never been with a 10, but I've been with 5 2s. Well, then you've been with a 10. Nobody said it had to be embodied in one person. Oh, wait, there's something on my screen. Okay, there we go. Dalton Barrett for $2. Was great. You knew about Naked Lunch last night. Naked Lunch, William S. Burroughs. It's a very bizarre book and a just as bizarre movie by David Cronenberg. But it's not for everybody. We have, I do believe we have cockroaches talking out their butts. Yeah. Echo Base Network, $1.99. Gary, when are you seeing Endgame? tomorrow at 7 p.m. Pacific time, then I am live. So 11:30, 12, midnight, I will be live. I'll also do a short video, of course. Of course. When are you going to see it, Echo Base? Naked Lunch was epic, says Sir Ransom. It is, yeah, it is really weird. And William S. Burroughs was a deeply disturbed, very proud heroin addict. Yeah. Yeah, me too about Spider-Man film. Makes me sad. Yeah, Willie Woodward, I don't know what, I mean, like, listen, Tom Holland isn't bad in the character. I don't like how he was portrayed in Homecoming. I thought he was a bit of a baby. I don't like, Spider-Man's cast of characters are extremely important to the character. And when they don't look like what they did in the comic, it takes me out. I don't mind some changes. Making out May younger, fine, whatever. Ned Leeds, okay, fine. I don't really. Mary Jane, yes. Huge problem with that. Major problem with that. So if that is what we're going to get from the MCU, I mean, that's the biggest sign right there. That's your MJ. Zenyatta Mandata, which is a Police album that's really good, is MJ. Well, then it's Ultimate Spider-Man. It's Brian Michael Bendis' Spider-Man, which was decent, but it's not Spider-Man. It is not the definitive Spider-Man. And honestly, I'm tired of Spider-Man being a kid. He's not a little teen titan. He's Spider-Man. He was young in the comic for like a minute, a hot minute. Jeff talked about the percentage. I think it's like 4% of the comics. He was a teenager. He is mostly an adult male between the age of, 23 and 30. And that's what I'd like to see. And the problem I've brought up before is we've seen so much Spider-Man now that by the time we actually get to the definitive Spider-Man, people might not be into it. They'll be like, I felt like I've seen all the Spider-Man, because they keep going back to the the just starting out Spider-Man. How about just established superheroes? How about we just give up on origins for a while? Unless it's a really different origin. Flashbacks can handle origins just fine. How about seeing some established, before Superman and Batman came out and Zack Snyder was taking it on and there was like a little bit of hope, I was really hopeful. I heard that we were going to get an established Batman with a Batcave and a Batmobile and Alfred and everything, and we don't have to go through the damn origin again. And I could see him actually fight his rogues villain. We've had a lot of Batman movies. And aside from the ones from the 80s where they fought, which really isn't definitive Batman. I like the Burton Batman, but we haven't seen Batman like really take on like a true comic book Penguin. I don't know what it takes to get somebody. Hopefully Matt Reeves does this. I don't go to Batman Year One. Stay the hell away from Frank Miller. Go to the Batman animated series to draw all of your inspiration. If you refuse to read the comics, just watch the animated series. That's Batman. For Pete's sake. And make it a TV show. I don't want to see a Batman movie anymore. I want a Batman TV show. Wow. If DC Universe would have launched with a Batman TV show, I think things would be different. Just saying. Wiretapped Latina. $1.99. Jeremy John says Captain Marvel isn't an Endgame much. That's good. That's good. That is very helpful. Wiretapped. Who's wiretapping you? Is it the feds? Sorry to hear that. Echo Base Network for $4.99. Thoughts on the giveaway video I sent you? I am seeing it Saturday morning, but may try to see it before and get a review out on it. Well, try to do that. I didn't see it. You sent me the link and it came up. It came up as video unavailable. Did you send it again? Honestly, after the live stream, I went straight to bed. Then I got up and I worked out, and then I'm here. Well, I did a live stream earlier on Nerdrotic Live. Please go there. If one of my fine wrenches when you're not busy keeping people with spoilers. If you could put in a link to Nerdrotic Live, I did a review of Cobra Kai, the first episode. But I will watch it. I promise, Nicholas. I will watch it and I will DM you my thoughts. I'll watch it right after I'm done, so I don't have to make you wait. I love scotch. $10, no question. I love scotch. Scotch. Ron Burgundy. Wales vagina. That's where I'm from. I'm from Wales vagina. Can you review Charmed? Woke media says it's too woke. Charmed is woke as it gets. If it would be a review, it would be to like MST3K it. I could do that. Sure. If you want me to rip something apart, I'll do it on Nerdrotic Live. Hell, that's what Twilight Zone reviews are going to be like. I thought it was over with Star Trek Discovery and then started watching the Twilight Zone. It's like CBS just wants to F up everything. Great job, guys. Well done. Well done. I'm glad a lot of you like Naked Lunch there. And Gregory Sedmack says, I love scotch too. Yes. If I never drank much. I quit drinking a long time ago. And the only scotch I drink, I don't know if it was considered scotch, is Cuddy Sark. No, that's not scotch. Is that whiskey? I can't remember. That's how much I know about alcohol. I stopped drinking like the year after I was old enough to drink, which was, holy crap, a long time ago. So hello from Croatia. That's brilliant. Tomislav Stefan. Did I say that right? Tomislav? Well, hello, Croatia. Welcome. Yeah, Twilight Zone without Rod Serling. I liked some of the reboots. I mean, it was never as good as the original. Let's be real. But the 80s reboot was pretty good. And George R. Martin worked on that one. J. Michael Straczynski were on that one. Like, it's definitely worth the look. I mean, it doesn't hold up as well as the classic, of course, but there was some really good. Bruce Willis, Shatterday. That was a good one. A friend of mine wrote The Helgramite Method. CBS can't be serious. Exactly. What's up, Fat Gandalf? How's it going? Bastard of America. The Bastard of America. Yeah, I'm a bastard too. I have no idea who my father was. I know there's a show. I mean, I had an adopted one, but my real one, I don't even know what he looks like. I know there's a short, chubby Indian trying to pass off as Eddie Brock in the new Spider-Man movies. Well, yeah, I like Tom Hardy. I think he'd be a better Wolverine than Venom, than Eddie Brock. I agree with you there, the Bastard of America. Speaking of which, is Taboo, is that show ever coming back? For Star Trek Discovery fans, for the 4 or 5 of you out there who are just convinced season 3 is going to happen, I'm going to give you 2 shows as an example. Taboo was given a season 2 years ago. Haven't heard a peep about it. We heard it might be filmed 2 years ago. Winona Earp was given a 4th and 5th season that are not going to happen because they can't pay for it now. So Star Trek Discovery season 3 without licensees, I can certainly see them going ahead with the Picard series without licensees because it's the streaming wars and that will bring subscribers. And according to my other source, that is their priority. And that's why Kurtzman is able to get away with what he's getting away with right now. It can't go for the long run though. And that's just common sense. When you have a Star Trek show, when you own the Star Trek property, you aren't just producing a television show. It's not CSI. You are starting a major franchise that has toys, games, ships, a massive built-in fan base that if you want to retain, you have to make these things. You have to produce these things. The fact that Star Trek action figures are not being produced on a regular basis, and I'm not going to count the 2 McFarlane ones, that tells you everything you need to know. So licensing is important. Licensing goes everywhere from tchotchkes to shirts to everything else. Plus, getting international. They need to be. CBS is probably going to go on its own internationally. I don't think Netflix is picking the Picard show up, which says everything. Netflix doesn't want to pick up a Picard show, huh? What? How bad could it be? Must be pretty bad. Well, if you have Akiva Goldsman and Alex Kurtzman in charge, it's bad. So right now, chugging on ahead without licensees, but Star Trek Discovery is going to need something. They're going to need something. This is a prediction based on nothing. 2-year delay for Star Trek Discovery minimum. They haven't started filming yet. It took 8 months to film last season. Season 2 came out late. Okay, remember, season 1 of Star Trek Discovery came out in October of 2017. And then they took a break and then came back in January. It premiered in late January, early February this year. There's no way it's making that next year. No way in hell. And Michelle Paradise did an interview on CBS, and she flubbed, and she said series finale. And there's a survey that came out that somebody was nice enough to show me. And here, I'll show it. It's on Twitter. Somebody DM, well, I think it was on Twitter. Somebody DM me. And I'll show you this survey that's very interesting. Give me just a mo. Oh, now I can't. God damn, I got so many dang messages. Is it Gaskins? Yeah, here it is. Give me just a second, and I will show you the survey that was sent out that just says something that kind of backs up what Michelle Paradise's flub. If Star Trek Discovery is renewed for season 3, how likely are you to watch the next season? This is a new survey that came out, folks. If Star Trek Discovery is renewed for season 3, how likely are you to watch the next season? Let me present a scenario that they announced there's a season 3, and basically it's just nothing's signed, nothing's funded. They probably have some of the actors under contract. Now, they probably have to produce it in a certain amount of time or some actors can walk. Wouldn't be surprised if some did. Maybe that was a way to keep Michelle Yeoh around to announce her series that they aren't going to produce, by the way, until after they produce Star Trek Discovery Season 3, which I'm telling you, after watching it, after hearing a couple flubs, I certainly got the feeling that it was a series finale. Maybe that's me just hoping. I don't know. I don't care. That's the vibe I got. When you see stuff like this sent by CBS, what else are we supposed to think? I'm not entirely sure we're going to get it. I could definitely see them announcing a season 3 and then waiting a couple years and then just hoping we all forget about it. That's a scenario I could believe. Psycho Ambassador, $2. Marvel and DC should scrap the romantic subplots. Well, I think they are. And you know what? There's certain ones that work, like, of course, Clark and Lois. But with certain, I mean, I don't think it's important. There's certain things it is, though. You have to have like an emotional linchpin in the story for sure. But you could also do that with family members or friends or whatever. I don't think it's super important for film. I think in a TV version, Psycho Ambassador, you kind of have to have that. But in film, I agree with you. I think if you scrap it, it's not necessary. But of course, we're going to be getting, by the way, Valkyrie supposedly is gay. So possibly we'll get some scissoring in the MCU. Probably not, though. I'm guessing no. Sorry if that's a spoiler. Who is a better villain, Thanos or Loki? Oh, Thanos. Well, MCU or comics? Loki was a very good villain for a while, and they made him kind of a hero. So Thanos is better. Thanos is much better in the comics. Thanos is a brilliant villain created by the great Jim Starlin. Infinity War just felt denser and more true to the pacing of the comics. If all Marvel movies would be like that, they would rule the movie market forever. Sticky V, you're right. You're right. Batman and Robin, Bjorn, yes. I mean, honestly, the crappy Titan show did give us one good thing. It gave us a good Robin costume and a look at Robin live action, not the crappy one from the Batman and Robin film, but a Robin that, I mean, the kid played the character good. He was given nothing to write. You couldn't see anybody because it shot so dark, but the costume looked really cool and it was cool to see Robin. I like Robin. I would like to see an established Batman and Robin TV show. You don't need a ton of special effects for Batman. He's going to be swinging from a few buildings. He's going to have a few gadgets. But most of the time he's standing there with his cape going, looking at a clue. I mean, that's Batman. Star Trek is not Star Trek. It's Robo Trek. Ha, that's funny. That's funny. That's true. I definitely want Talia al Ghul putting poison in Batman's drink. R.I.P. Adam Warlock and R.I.P. Marvel. I know, Halam, like the real ones. I mean, we totally flushed away two major characters. And who are going to take their places, Halam, without spoiling anything? Who takes their places? Just give me the names. No spoilers. And are any of my here? I'm going to open up the mod thread DM. If mods, if you think it's getting too bad, let me know. Okay. Now I got to find it. Somebody message me in there. Sorry, folks. Give me just a second. There. Okay. I am in my Nerdrotic mod thread DM on Twitter. So yeah, shoot me because like sometimes I can't see your messages there. Mark, are you in there? What's your Twitter Mark Lazarth, what is your Twitter handle? Chris Persia, what is your Twitter handle? Star Trek and Star Wars have swapped with their IPs. We're supposed to represent. Well, it should be called RIPs now. Rest intellectual properties, you are dead. As I said last night in the High Council, The Last Jedi, honestly, is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Period. I've seen really crappy movies, but I can always find some enjoyment of it. I'll give you one example. Ator. I think I saw, this might be the worst movie I saw in the theaters. Okay. But this is better than freaking Last Jedi. Okay. I saw this in theaters. Miles O'Keefe, Ator, a magical power, was destined to fight at his side. At least it had like a saber-tooth. It didn't really have a saber-tooth tiger. But it had like hot women running around. So it had something to. What Star Trek Discovery did to Star Trek, if that happens to Star Wars fans might actually be moved to violence. Star Trek fans, I mean, we're getting older. We're aging out. There's not as many of us as there was before. And there's definitely not as many of us as Star Wars fans, but they are the first fandom, one of the best fandoms, arguably created conventions. And holy crap, what they did in the last 2 minutes of the last episode just undid one of the best characters on television. Just undid him. Spock is undone. If you count Star Trek Discovery's canon, which I don't. No. Hang on. All right. Okay. We'll assemble the 501st. We might need to. If they I can't even, as bad as what they did to Luke Skywalker. It was like Rey going back in time and meeting Luke and talking Luke into going with Obi-Wan, becoming friends with Han Solo. Oh, and Rey being his older sister, and Luke was dyslexic. Okay. So it ruined him. And Uncle Owen was a horrible uncle father. And it was Rey, his older sister, who set him straight. He wouldn't. So, what Star Trek Discovery had to do in every moment of every scene is, if you are male, you are flawed. But when you become right, when you are set on your path, it was a woman who helped you make that decision. So, the saying, behind every great man there's a great woman, and that's a good one. But they really, literally wanted to do that in this, so much so where Captain Pike, and all of a sudden everybody knows Captain Pike's fate. Michael Burnham's mom knew Captain Pike's fate and didn't tell him, and Admiral Cornhole was talking like she knew it, and she's like, whatever you face, you'll face with strength. So giving him validation. Basically, every man needed to be validated by a woman before they were okay. Spock had to be validated by an older sister, a woman, for it to be okay. It was filled with intersectional feminism. That was the entire point of making Michael Burnham his older sister. They wanted to create an icon for Star Trek, and they wanted her to be the bestest ever. And they did that at the cost of Spock. Now, why did they choose Spock and not Captain Kirk? That's the only thing I can think of, is because Spock, arguably, well, he's been in more eras of Star Trek. I would say he's a more popular character. There might be people who argue with me about that, and I would listen to it. I mean, I don't know if he is in my head, but I would say Spock might be the most popular character in Star Trek. So that's who they wanted to do it. So to equate it to Star Wars, it would be like somebody telling Luke to go with Ben and to become friends with Han Solo and to kiss your sister once, but that's it. You know what I mean? Also, why aren't the entire ships not made of a blast door? Tyler 2 FX01. Great question. And why is the manual override on the outside? This is the show that had Spock saying, "I love science." Yeah, it's an anti-male show. It was anti-male in the same way that Captain Marvel was, except a little worse. Extremely anti-male. In my season 2 review, Mahler is going to be my inspiration. So this could take me a month or 2 to make. But I am going to get in the weeds on this thing, and I'm going to break it down. I have notes and notes and notes of this stuff, and it'll probably be like an hour-long video, and maybe 10 of you will watch it. But I mean, I need it just to prove a point, because I get so many people going, no, it's not that bad. It's like, no, maybe you didn't watch the episode 2 or 3 times like I did, because every episode I watched 2 or 3 times to do those videos. And it's like, oh, and you have to, and it's not because it's intricate writing. It's because it's such crap garbage layered on crappy garbage. It's like dumpster diving. Reviewing Star Trek Discovery is like dumpster diving. Do it. No need. It was terrible is enough. Nick Miller, that's funny. No Cobra Kai, no party. Wesley Crusher was the heart of Star Trek. It's really, really bad. It felt like a little brain death. It's a good thing that I did a lot of drugs in the 80s, and I've got a callus on my brain for stuff like that, that is why I stopped watching Discovery after episode 2. Michael, you are very, very smart person. One more thing. Michael Burnham's mom. Okay, so Michael Burnham's mom. So Michael Burnham's named Michael. I got this from Anti-Tracker because I honestly didn't know Michael Burnham's mom name is Gabriel. Michael and Gabriel as angels. So basically, in the Star Trek universe, the whole myth of Michael and Gabriel as angels came from Michael Burnham and her mom. They retconned the Bible basically in Star Trek Discovery. So remember, this season was supposed to be about faith. Does anybody remember that? Like, this season is really going to be about faith. Well, the only time they talked about is some coexist religion that makes no sense. So, God, it's going to be hard to explain. Michael Burnham, as the Red Angel, somehow transported an entire church full of people 51 light years across the universe to a planet so she could have safe harbor. So she ripped these people out of their lives. Yeah, maybe they were going to die, but she ripped them out of space and time so she could have a safe place to go. And their descendants all got kumbaya'd and have a single religion. Okay, whatever. And the Red Angel is a deity that they worship, and it's Michael Burnham. And Michael Burnham meets the Red Angel in the first episode, and she feels safe and at home. Well, of course, it was her. It was her. It's that dumb. It's that dumb. All right, Chris Persia's in the DMs. All right, yeah, just hit me up if they got any problems. Okay, Dean Heiss for $10. I am paying you overtime for just enduring each episode 2 or 3 times. Nobody should have to put up with that stuff. Thanks, Dean. Hey, I got to talk about it in videos, so it was cathartic. It was cathartic. I don't know how anybody could still be a fan after watching that last show. I'm interested to see. I haven't looked lately. I know the show has its defenders, but I'm gonna watch some of their videos and see what they think. I have to let time pass though, so emotions don't come into the equation. Also, why aren't entire ship? Oh, okay, made a blaster. I got that one. Thank you, Tyler X2F01 hologram nunchuck. Thank you for the 99-cent donation. I truly appreciate it. Dalton Burchette, $2. Hudson Hawk was better than The Last Jedi. It was. I actually liked Hudson Hawk. I mean, it's terrible, but I like it. Thank you, Dalton. Tyler X, 2F01, Canadian, $5. If Fallopian Giorgio killed Control, why did Discovery have to go to the future still? I don't know. Well, I do know. They needed to get the Discovery out of Star Trek canon because that's what CBS told them to do. And what happened is they probably made a bunch of changes that, here's my guess. As the season went on, they made a bunch of changes and CBS just kept rejecting them to the point where they ran out of time because they're not talented and they couldn't think of anything. And they just said, we'll put them in a wormhole 950 years in the future. Is that cool? Okay, good. That was it. That was probably as much thought if anybody put any more thought into it than that, then I question their ability to think. Behind every successful man, an amazed mom-in-law. $2. Yes. My mother-in-law. Dunning Kruger says $2. I got that survey. I destroyed Discovery in it. Good. The only reason I'm still subscribed to CBS is for Twilight Zone, but I don't know how much longer. April Grady for $5. I loved Hyperion and Thor's bromance and how BA they were in. Do you think they would bring Hyperion from the Squadron Supreme? How BA they were in Secret Wars. Gotcha. Into the MCU, maybe Thor 4, maybe. I think we could see the Squadron Supreme someday, but I think it would be as villains, maybe. Be interested to bring them in. It would. They would probably adapt Michael J. Straczynski's Squadron Supreme, which was actually pretty good. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Whatever happened to the Cursed Earth comic guys? I don't know. Copter Renegade, 2 pounds. What did happen to them? I have no idea. Sorry, I could look it up. Shokan for 5 pounds. Started seeing The Expanse last week by your recommendation. It rocks big time. Behind me, reminds me of Battlestar Galactica. Great show, great acting, no bullshit, right? It absolutely is the heir apparent to Battlestar Galactica, and it is also where all Star Trek fans can go and get their good sci-fi fix. It is the show to watch. I've covered it a lot here on the channel. I was part of the Save the Expanse movement. Actually, that was the first thing that really got a lot of that was my first multiple thousands video. Was 60,000 when I announced it was canceled, unfortunately. I'll never forget. I was on a live stream with Comics Division, and it just got off, and I was going to check my Twitter before I went to bed, and I got a message that The Expanse had been canceled, and I'm like, what the hell? And I just started a live stream, like a really short one. It's still on the channel. And the Save the Expanse movement and Doomcock got involved, and everybody got involved, and they flew a plane over Amazon, and it got saved, and it was great. And I can't wait. Tyler 2FO1 Canadian $5. Can we force feed Siniqua and Martin Green some Trillium D so she can act with some actual emotion? She isn't a Vulcan. We know this. That might have been part of the reason they made her half Vulcan, was, just try to keep her constrained within her acting. I don't know. They did everything the wrong way, the hard way, the wrong way, and they were certainly not talented enough to write themselves out of that. And if it sucks for them to hear, I'm sorry. Hey, you guys got paid. I would hang on to that money. I would save it. Treat it like a lot like us YouTubers here. Like, if we're doing good, it's not going to be forever. Save your money. And here, I'll say something that's probably, you're all thinking, that doesn't get said out loud a lot. There are certain writers on that show that got hired not because of their talent. We'll just say that. There are certain writers in that writer's room for Star Trek Discovery that didn't get hired for their Star Trek knowledge. They got hired for how they look or what organs they have. That was a higher priority than finding somebody who knows something about Star Trek and producing a good Star Trek show. Now, CBS can hire whoever the hell they want. That's fine. But when it's bad, here's the drawback of hiring people like that. And, whatever, they got a paycheck, so they shouldn't have to, they shouldn't care what I think. But, and this will be in my next video. There is a woman in the Star Trek Discovery Blu-rays saying this might be the first time in history that women were in charge of Star Trek. If that's indeed the case, you were also the first time in history that somebody was in charge of Star Trek and it sucked this much. And if it happened to be women in charge, how does that help anything? So there are women out there who know Star Trek up and down, and supposedly they had hired one. She written some Star Trek novels. I don't know how involved she was in the script writing, but sometimes novelists don't make good screenwriters, or maybe, as I suspect with Doctor Who, I think there's a lot of rules sent down from on high, and you have to write around that, and that can make writing hard. But Alex Kurtzman being involved, just go look at the guy's IMDb. I don't know how the hell he keeps getting work. You want to talk about diversity? Yeah, no, don't hire Alex Kurtzman. Bring in somebody else. How about some inclusivity of talent? For Pete's sake. Nathan Norman, I love this idea because I did this at the comic store. Nathan Norman, Nerdrotic, I would have made a Star Trek quiz a standard for hiring people for my finalized Star Trek show. Nathan Norman, you had to pass a quiz with a 60% to work at my comic shop. And it was a basic quiz. Like, who is Jack Kirby? And then I'd get some tough ones in there. But I had a comic book quiz that you had to pass to work in my store. And you had to do the quiz in front of me right there during the interview. No Google, no chance to think about it. It's like, and I wouldn't tell them about it. I'd do the interview. I'm all, by the way, you need to pass this. You need to get 60% on this. Yeah. You got to know what the hell you're talking about. I don't really care what you look like. It just so happened that, well, it's probably because I live in a pretty diverse town. I never even thought about it till right now. But I didn't hire any white people at my store. I was it. 50-50 girls and guys. Yeah. I was the only white dude. Pal Gaming Travels, $1.99. Is it me or Michelle Yao is hotter than ever? She's pretty hot. Yeah. It's just when she's on that show, it doesn't help. I guess beauty can't overcome bad acting. But she looks great. She looks fantastic. Doesn't look like she's aged a day. That's CBS, says RPM. Yeah, Nathan Norman. That's yeah. Where was the grand funeral for the male officer that got wasted by an asteroid? Oh, forgot. He was too busy mansplaining, right? Sir Redstum, we had this big grand funeral for a robot. And they didn't even acknowledge that guy's death. Not once. That was some garbage, but whatever. I mean, it's Star Trek Discovery. Are you surprised? I am not. All right. Can't believe I forgot Carmine Infantino's name. Actually, I can. All right. Yeah, we got some pretty good numbers for today. That's great. Let's get down to the bottom here. What do we want to talk about next? And I will go into, like, once everybody's seen Avengers Endgame and we know when the dust settles and we know what's happened, no matter what happens, the impact on the comic book industry is going to be very negative. Actually, I could talk about this right now. Whatever happens in Avengers Endgame, whatever happens, this is not going to be good for comic book retailing. And it hasn't been, and it didn't have to be this way. And as I've said in many videos and before here, before Disney got involved, the MCU actually helped comic stores. Robert Downey Jr. showing up as Iron Man helped. Well, him showing up as Iron Man, and then what Marvel would do is an Iron Man movie's coming out. So let's get two of our best creators. Let's relaunch the Iron Man book with a commitment with these best creators like Warren Ellis and have them write and produce a great Iron Man comic that's not an adaptation of the movie. That's like its own adventure, its own thing. They did Extremis, and they made sure that they put Iron Man, the comic book, in the best position to sell the most comics by putting a good artist on it, a good writer, and telling a good story, and not flooding it with a bunch of variants. And guess what? My Iron Man sales went through the roof. Now, I've told this story before. When I purchased my comic store in 2003, Captain America and Iron Man were not selling. Captain America is a very tough sell here in San Francisco. All right. I love Cap, but there's a lot of political ideology here, we'll just say, that doesn't love Cap. I don't know why, because last time I checked, this is still technically America, but whatever. I had 8 subscribers for Captain America and 8 subscribers for Iron Man. When the MCU starts out, they start throwing Warren Ellis, and it has everything to do with the artist and the creator. It didn't really have a ton to do with the movie at the time, but the synergy was there. And it built up to 100 subscribers for Iron Man. So I was selling 16 Iron Man comics a month. Iron Man rolls around. I start selling 200 a month off the shelf. So that is how it could have helped the comic book industry. But that's when it was still kind of grassroots. The MCU started kind of willy-nilly. It wasn't this big plan that they mapped out. They tacked on that ending and they kind of just said, let's see what happens. And it worked. It worked. And the only reason it worked is because it wasn't corporate. It was a bunch of creative people brainstorming, and they had the money to do it, and they were given the creative power to do it. And the producers kind of laid off them. Then when things got big, then the producers started getting involved. And then that's when Kevin Feige saved the MCU by throwing the gauntlet down, having that little battle with Perlmutter, and Disney got involved and all that stuff. But remember, I mean, even though Disney owned Marvel at the time, when Avengers came out, that was still a Paramount picture. That was still part of their Paramount deal. That's when things changed, though. When Disney bought Marvel, I just knew this would happen. And I've asked this question before on the stream, and I mean it. As great as the MCU was and is, I would, if I had a chance, if I had the power to deny the Disney sale and make the MCU never happen, I probably would, because I think we'd still have comics. I think they've really, the way they've negatively affected the comic books is because it's made the comic books unnecessary. And therefore Disney doesn't care that much about them. So when people like Mark Waid go over there and work for Marvel and start attacking fans, nothing happens. And when nothing happens, Disney, that I take that as you signing off on it. When there's no disciplinary action for employees of your company attacking fans, and I'm not talking about the people with 8 followers who throw out racist rhetoric on Twitter. We're talking about people going, hey, Mark, could you dial it back on the politics in your book? Just, can we get comic books again? And then Mark spurgs out on them. And it gets so bad to where a big time comic book writer tries to interfere with an independent comic creator and interfere with this comic. And that sounds so weird, because that is not anything I ever thought I would have seen in my life. That's how bad it's gotten. And it's because of Disney. Disney has empowered these people to do that, probably encouraged them. And listen, I think they do agree with them. And that's why they sign off on this stuff and they don't discipline them and don't do anything. I don't think, I don't like Bob Iger. And it's not like it's anything he said. I just saw him up for the Avengers red carpet interview, and he just looks like a douchebag, like a Hollywood slick D-bag. I don't know. Just don't like that kind of person. So, yeah, you don't get in that position of power without screwing a few people over either, in my opinion. That being said, I hate the fact that Disney owns Marvel. I hate the fact that they own Fox. I hate the fact that they own Star Wars. And wow, with the comics, I didn't, honestly, I'll be honest with you. I thought Disney was going to do a good job with Star Wars. Boy, was I wrong. But with certain people out there, not you guys in the chat, I told you so with Marvel. I told you so. And Fox is going to be worse. Oh, I can't wait to see Disney's Aliens. Oh boy, that'll be fun. Sorry. It's my Venture Brothers ringtone. So the comics have suffered. The comics have suffered. They will continue to suffer until they don't exist, or they just become little pamphlets for the movies. But thankfully, there are so many old comics out there that I haven't read. Like, I haven't read all the Valerian and Laureline, and they have big, and they're pretty cheap too. They have hardback volumes of that now available on Amazon. Great. Oh man, that reminds me, I should here. Okay, some more P.O. box. This is from Mike Brown, who's in the chat. Mike Brown sent me this. He is an author, Michael Brown, with Miles Edmondson. They do the Atlantis Chronicles. And listen, if you send me books, I will read them. I will review them. I cannot promise the time, because, like a comic book, I can read pretty quick. A movie, I can watch pretty quick. But if it's novels, it's going to take me a while. But I will review them. You have my word on that. So he has 3 books. And they are the Atlantis Chronicles. They're right here. They're available on Amazon. He was nice enough to send these to me. So we have The Wreck. We have Despot's Paradise and Hell Sent. I like that one. So yes, I will be checking those out. And thanks again for sending them in the P.O. box. So I got to show you guys this. My sponsor, my AA sponsor, gave me a huge stack of comics. And he said he found them at a house. And they were wrapped in a bag in some attic. And like they're just kind of whatever comics. But and then you find like this, which is awesome. Old Tales of Suspense. There's some new stuff, but some Silver Age Submariner. There's some, everybody has to have a man thing. I mean, personally, I'm my favorite is a giant size man thing, but having a man thing is pretty good. Iron Man in his best costume. Oh, and look at this. Earthworm Jim. But I mean, these comics are worthless, but I love them. Old DC Star Trek. Old Guardians of the Galaxy. The very last Defenders issue. When Crystal was on Fantastic Four. Good old Invaders. I love the Invaders. So yeah, he just gave me this. And then, of course, this is something I'm surprised these comics aren't worth more because you will never, ever see them again. DC and Marvel crossovers from the 90s. This will never happen again, folks. This is like the one guaranteed in comics. You will never see. So the amalgam comics, I like some of them. But yeah, we'll never see that again. Captain America and Falcon. Yeah, this. And this. Good stuff. Oh yeah, and this was in there too. That's worth a couple bucks. Magneto and the more amalgam. I love this stuff. Hey, yeah, I just got it for free. That was cool. I might give some of those away to my patrons. I got some letters. Hang on. Those are my Italian comics. I'll be right back. I'm not gone. Ooh, that's mail. Okay, that's all I can reach right now. I also got this. This was cool as hell. Got my Catwoman ride. And there will be more P.O. Box stuff. So thank you. I got a P.O. Box. Thank you very much for sending it to me. It's brilliant. Any way we could find on how Abdeen's lawsuit is going. Tyler F01, I've got an update coming soon. We'll just say that. Let's get back to the chat here. RPM ever asked you Gary, doesn't Mrs. Nerdrotic ever ask you it's the comic books or me? No. RPM no. Oh hell no. Let's just say Mrs. Nerdrotic is my second wife. The last one, the best one, my true love. I've actually known her all my life. We dated in high school and stuff, but we both had prior marriages. And one of the things with my prior marriage, and listen, my ex is not a bad person. She's not evil in any way, shape, or form. It was just not a good fit. Is that a best way to say it? It wasn't a good fit. So it's a very amicable breakup, pretty much. I mean, it wasn't like this horrible divorce. We actually just, we did like the mediation thing. We didn't do like a legit divorce. But one of the things was first wife didn't like comics. Kind of a deal breaker with me. Kind of a deal breaker. What is my AA birthday? My AA birthday is December 27th. Keep coming back. Yeah, I relapsed though, so it's I've only got 5 years 5 years right now. But I had prior to that had 17. But I did not relapse on alcohol. Just a chance to see more stuff behind your chair. Oh, yeah, I know, right? I guess I should move once in a while. You could see my TARDIS fridge. You guys see my TARDIS fridge? That's my TARDIS fridge. And then my British flag Dalek. There's a bunch of garbage on the floor. Well, not stuff, but toys that I need to find spots for. But then there's more. And my books. The Orville is owned by Disney, and that's not good. Oh, by the way, yeah. So the Orville finale, like, what were they thinking? They should really delay the Orville till next week. I don't know why they decided to end the series on the day Endgame comes out. Come on, guys. So I can't cover it till the next morning, obviously, because of Endgame, which sucks. Thanks, Joe. Captain Marvel finds herself in Gotham City and immediately neuters Batman, right? Yeah, Danvers. Yeah, but she's not Dr. Meatball. She is not going to be the villain. The straight up, she is the Superman of the MCU. She has reportedly, and I know what you mean, and I would much rather hear that too, but I mean, it's just flat out not going to happen. She is the Superman. She is the face of Marvel, and they're going with this because, you know what? I don't care what they want. You know, they always tell that to the fans, right? They always tell us, we don't care what you want. We're going to make what's best for the art. Well, you're going against your own quote unquote ideal. You want Carol Danvers to be Superman because you want to send a political message. Unfortunately, we're not going to buy that for long. You know what? You all know why people bought it in the first place, but maybe you're, sometimes arrogance can make people stupid as hell. Trust me. Captain Marvel didn't make $1 billion because of Captain Marvel or Brie Larson or Kevin Feige or Samuel Jackson or the Skrulls. Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. It makes half that, if that, without those. If it's just by itself. Wonder Woman, which was surrounded by crap, made almost $1 billion. Because it's Wonder Woman, who's been around for 75 years, who was part of the Trinity of the DC. I'm sorry, Marvel. There is plenty of women of Marvel, but you didn't pick the right one. I'm going to show you, if I can find it, a old cover that I used to like to put on my Facebook. Let's get over here. And it's pretty much the precursor to trade paperbacks. I used to love the Fireside books from Marvel. Oh yeah, the Fireside books. And they would collect, it was the origins of Marvel Comics, Son of Origins. But they did a woman one back in the 70s because women, believe it or not, existed before 2016, and they existed in comics before 2016. I know. It's ridiculous, right? It's a ridiculous thought. Oh, look at that Kirby art. Oh, so good. Oh, I got to show you that picture too. A picture of my old office. But and now I can't find it. Here, I'll just show you this instead. Bring on the bad guys. I couldn't find the other one, so I'm just showing you this good old John Romita art from Fireside Books. Ah, God. And you know what? You know what sucks? Here's what happens when, again, I don't know anything about Endgame. I don't know anybody's, but I'm guessing we're going to lose a couple of major characters. But here's the problem. If we don't recast the role, then Doctor Doom is never going to fight Captain America or Iron Man. The X-Men aren't going to meet Captain America or Iron Man. You know, that's why you recast these characters. There's your biggest villain in the, I mean, love Thanos and everything. Doctor Doom is the biggest villain in Marvel Comics, period. And we haven't even introduced him yet. And now you can't have two of your big dogs fighting him at all because you've gotten rid of them. And I don't know what's going to happen, but by all accounts, it sounds like Chris Evans is done. I don't know about RDJ. I think Chris Hemsworth's going to stick around. But yeah, you recast. I got to show. Oh, that's a good picture too. This was, my office has gone through many incarnations, we'll just say. There you go. That was my office when it was in the basement, and that's just one little piece of it there. I could see my, oh, okay. See the Darth Vader helmet, and the thing below it is the last Star Wars thing I have. So the thing below that Darth Vader helmet, which I don't have anymore, is a gift pack. Remember when George Lucas had the AFI celebration for Star Wars so many years ago, like 10, 15 years ago? They gave away a gift bag. And inside that gift bag, you got the George Lucas slipcase, and it was all the movies he had done. So that's it's DVDs, but it's all the Star Wars movies, and it's Raiders of the Lost Ark, and there's a couple of documentaries in there, and it's got AFI George Lucas. I still have that. One of our friends had gone to that. Oh man. I just, the reason I'm bringing it up is because I just remembered I have it. It's in a box somewhere. All right. Yeah, that's what the office used to look like. Okay, back to chat. RPM, thank you for the £1 donation. I greatly appreciate it. Tyler X, yeah, Anas, the last I heard from Anas Abdeen was while I was traveling, I heard he lost his job. So I don't know what that means, but we will find out. THX 1138, yes, that's in there as well. That's a life-size Spider-Man. It's that they put in Blockbuster Video when they released the first Spider-Man movie. You can get them on eBay for like $607. That one I had to fix the arm, but I got it for free. Dr. Meatball, I can't read that, but you made me laugh. I am a 1975 baby, so it's all right to have a few rings in your trunk. Damn straight, Bruce Lombardo. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Doom is the key to a successful continuation of the MCU. He should be the next great threat, but more terrifying. Yes. I think there's a way you can mix in. I think it should be completely Fantastic Four focused, but they're going to want to go for the X-Men because, and listen, the MCU X-Men, don't get your hopes up for it. Don't be surprised in 10 years, people are going to look back and go, maybe Fox didn't do such a bad job. Oh my God, Halam, you're a 2000 baby. That means you're a baby. BSG versus BSG. Yeah, Mac Box. The BSG comics are great. Definitely. And you should be able to get them cheap. And they are good. They're excellent reads. I love the Battlestar Galactica comics. All right. All right. So let's talk a little bit about something good. I know. Let's talk about Cobra Kai. How many of you saw Cobra Kai? The MCU needs Galactus. Yes, Adam Walker. I think if you could do Doctor Doom and Galactus for your next phase, and you can get 10 years out of that easy. But you know what? Galactus and Silver Surfer and the Fantastic Fours with no interaction from Steve Rogers and Thor and Iron Man and your big three. Eh, eh. Dalton Burchett for $5. This is off topic, but go ahead. There's no off topic here on live streams, but I got to ask, Bill Murray as Hunter S. Thompson or Johnny Depp? For me, it's Murray. I know what you're saying. We're the Buffalo Road. It's a good movie, but Fear and Loathing is honestly one of my favorite movies. I love Terry Gilliam. I love that movie, but Bill Murray's great. Yeah, both good. Hunter S. Thompson, really good. You could understand Bill Murray more a little bit. Tito George, I won't be surprised if the MCU Doctor Doom is female. As a matter of fact, you just gave him the idea, Tito. I would almost take that one to the bank. Victoria de Von Doom. Yeah, it's happening. And that's when I am done. Late. Go have your little cosplay show. I'm out. And I think a lot of people would be too. Cobra Kai never dies, says Ingrox. Cobra Kai. Okay, Cobra Kai episode 1. I want to show you guys the numbers on this. Star Trek fans, I want you to take a good solid gander at this, because this is real viewing numbers. Now, I checked a couple hours ago while I was doing the live my live review. Cobra Kai in 13 hours had over 4 million views. Now, not all of them are all the way through, but YouTube shows their numbers. It is currently at 4,452,837 views. That is for the first episode that was released about 14 hours ago. Season one. The first episode has over 50 million views. Here we go. 60,793,487. I would venture to say, as a matter of fact, I take this to the bank and CBS, prove me wrong. The entirety of Star Trek Discovery doesn't have half the views that Cobra Kai season 1, episode 1 has. As a matter of fact, maybe not even a third. The entirety, all 29 or 30 episodes, could not equal 30 million views. And if I'm wrong, CBS, show us the numbers, please. Please show us these successful numbers. Show me an independent company that is that can show the numbers that are wrong. Oh, there's little Johnny Lawrence. Okay, so this is how you do a show. They brought back well, I don't want to spoil it. I'm going to give you a spoiler free thoughts here. They continue the story right where it left off. We had, of course, the tournament, and just it picks up right where it left off. There's no sophomore jinx. It has the same tone to it. It's cool. There's drama. There's definite drama. We've got a plot complication right at the beginning, but there's like a really like a ray of hope in the show that no other show does or has done. It still has the feel of an 80s film. It's got that aesthetic about it. Most importantly, the new characters, which most people in Hollywood right now would write completely annoying and stereotypical. They write them with depth. They are all performed by very talented younger actors and actresses, and the writing is top notch because it shows reverence and respect to the past, to the source material. Nothing in Cobra Kai takes away from the Karate Kid or the Karate Kid Part 2 or Part 3. You get a perfect addition because it shows that respect. It doesn't take any unnecessary moves to mine the past to create false drama when you have plenty of drama. You have plenty of time to fill. It's been years. So it's really a simple formula. And it's not preachy at all. There is definitely a message, and it's a message that we can all agree with. So I don't know why it's so hard for some franchise. Oh, I do, because telling a good story is not your priority. The priority for Cobra Kai is to tell a good story. YouTube needed this. They didn't have jack squat on their premium service, but it's funny is they don't have like much else, but then they have probably one of the best shows on TV, or what's supposed to be a TV show. It's obviously on a streaming service. And yeah, okay, full disclosure, I'm on YouTube. I get a piece of this. I get a very minute piece of this, but I get a piece of this. Anybody on YouTube, any creator does. You get like a nano penny, whatever the percentage of a penny. Beware of the. Okay, Sith Bunny. I gotcha. Larry Nemechek shills for ST. Who's this Larry Nemechek? Shills for STD by talking about Parrot Analytics social media, mentions it's laughable as it doesn't score the content of the mentions. Does he really bring up Parrot Analytics? That's funny, Michael, because they count everything, and Star Trek Discovery doesn't move the needle on Parrot Analytics either. Yeah, they tried to throw that at me for when I threw out when DC Universe, which is indeed being reevaluated by Warner Brothers. Somebody tried to throw that Parrot Analytics crap at me, saying, "Well, interest is improved in DC." I'm all, yeah, it used to be nothing, and now it's improved. But unfortunately, nobody's watching the streaming service, and AT&T just bought Warner Brothers, and it was doomed from the get-go, unfortunately. And they rushed Swamp Thing. They cut 3 episodes, and it's probably not going to get a season 2. And I don't think Doom Patrol is going to get a season 2, and I don't think Titans is going to get a season 3. Brie made a deal to order make Mr. Roboto. What do you it says Brie made deal in order to make Unicorn movie. The Unicorn movie was out before that. I don't know. I don't know why Netflix would choose to carry that, because nobody else would. Dalton Burchek, $2. I do lean more towards Fear more so than Buffalo. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Bill Murray, you can understand him better. I got you there. Hi, Nerdrotic, just in from training and watching whilst eating. Yum. Comic book black belt. Yes. Food sounds really good. I've got to remember to eat before live streams. Halam 899. I will totally fit in Cobra Kai as I am young, hot, and brown. As TV shows need to trick a checklist or chick. Yes, they do. They do. According to Parrot Analytics, STD is the 4th most popular streaming show in terms of general interest. That's funny. That's rigged because Loquacious Primate. I have screenshots of every night Star Trek Discovery airs, and it doesn't trend on Twitter ever. So I don't know how. I mean, maybe I don't know. So the 4th most interesting show. Wow. In terms of general interest, I am certainly going to look into that. Eat on a live stream, you'll get more views. I don't know about that. Seriously, Gary, eat while doing a live stream. I really I don't know if I don't like eating. I barely like eating in front of people. You pronounced Netflix incorrect. Netflix incorrectly. Netflix. How about chick flicks? The whole Brie thing is suspicious. I think at some point, some nefarious information on why she suddenly became the best actress ever will be revealed. Liquid Catamus. I agree. I think there might be some, Kevin Feige just like is way too agreeable to her. You know what I'm saying? I think there might be some Me Too stuff going on there. Odin eats chocolate. It is like food porn. Okay. Call it ASMR. Yeah. I will have you seen the new Swamp Thing trailer that dropped today? They lean heavily into the horror. Looks interesting. Sean Tillman, I was the most excited for that show because it has Mark Verheiden behind it, it has James Wan behind it, and had the best talent behind it. And it's gonna have a really crappy ending because they had to rewrite the 10th episode as an ending because they just shut it down. They still had 3 episodes to shoot. They built a giant swamp set. It is completely shut down. It is done. Parrot Analytics also takes into account peer-to-peer sharing in their numbers, asking aka torrents. STD being high in their rankings only indicates people are bootlegging the hell out of it right now. Yeah, I don't even know why they'd want to do that. Except for exceptions, Hollywood is dead. Kind of maybe. I think Kevin Feige has is marching orders from Disney. Yep, and he will do as they direct him to do, or hit the door. Maybe I always thought he had some autonomy over there. I thought he was the man in charge, but maybe not. Maybe Alan Horn is truly the guy in charge. Nerdrotic, it's not rocket science. She is the representation of white feminism in Hollywood. She is a symbol. James Coleman, no, it is not. You're right. Actually, I think Kevin Feige had something on her. Had it on. I can't finish that. Maybe Netflix and the others signed Brie Larson because they thought they could make the next Jennifer Lawrence or something. Maybe. Yeah, they just got it wrong. And I think it's pretty clear from the beginning. I don't think there's any question about that. Hang on, start. A little sip of Pete for the working man here. Let's see here. The Star Trek animated show has been greenlit on Nickelodeon. Star Trek's next spinoff will see teens hijack a Starfleet ship. Yep. Wow, this is the show you never thought you wanted to see, folks. Here we go. Oh my God, it's animated, it's on Nickelodeon. Star Trek's next spinoff will see teenagers hijack a Starfleet ship. The Star Trek franchise is expanding, and the next installment will be an animated spin-off series featuring a bunch of lawless teenagers. According to TV Line, the show is being executive produced by Dan and Kevin Hageman, alongside the likes of Alex Kurtzman and Heather Caden and Rod Roddenberry, that sellout. An official synopsis for the new animated confirms that it will follow a group of lawless teens who discover a derelict Starfleet ship and use it to search for adventure, meaning, and salvation. Okay. The Hageman brothers added to the statement Star Trek, Nickelodeon as the state of animation are doing incredibly ambitious things as of late. We couldn't be more excited to jump on board. This isn't the first animated effort from Star Trek family either, as the animated series ran for 22 episodes from 73 to 74. Excited to bring a new project to young Trekkie viewers, which there are none. Kurtzman noted Star Trek's mission is to inspire generations of dreamers to build a brighter future. I don't know. I always didn't like the term dreamers because that means you have to sleep to dream. So how about somebody who envisions, I don't know, dreaming? Dreaming is random, part of the subconscious. Dan and Kevin have crafted a story that honors the exploratory spirit. Oh, it means it's going to be nothing. It's going to be nothing like Star Trek except for the ship. But it honors the spirit. God damn, man. The ways it's never been done before. It honors. Okay, how does this make sense? This honors its exploratory spirit in a way that it's never been done before. So it honors. How can you honor something in a way that's never been honored before? While the Nickelodeon team blew us away with their excitement at bringing, so they blew them away with the excitement of bringing Trek to a younger generation around the world, as well as the animated offering. Fans can also look forward to a 10-episode movie Picard spinoff. And if anybody's wondering where they possibly got the money, I don't think Nickelodeon animated show would pay for dick, but they probably got a little extra money from that. So the Picard spinoff is not, it's a 10-episode movie. Yeah. But they show us a picture of Discovery. I don't know, folks. Are you excited to watch a bunch of teens on a with nothing to do with federal? So how is it Star Trek? Just because they find the ship? Okay. So some people find that. I'm sure Disney just got an idea for the Millennium Falcon. Whatever. It's on Nickelodeon. Does anybody watch Nickelodeon anymore? I don't think so. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think I'll even watch it. It's animated, it's for kids, and I don't know why. If you get a chance to do an animated Star Trek, and you could, like, I don't know, do an animated, yeah. I don't know why you would not make it Star Trek, but that's me. It just seems like Kurtzman doesn't want to make Star Trek. He likes having the property, but he really hates having to produce actual Star Trek. But I want you guys to notice this. I want you to keep an eye on this from here on out, because I have certainly started noting anytime one of us, Midnight's Edge, Mecha Random, Midnight's Edge After Dark, Doomcock, yours truly, anytime one of us breaks something from our insider, there is a announcement or a positive and I'm not talking about a listicle where they're like top 10 things. I'm talking there's an announcement about a show within 24 hours. As a matter of fact, this hit 5 to 6 hours ago. When did Doomcock's video hit? 7, 8 hours ago? I'm telling you. Keep an eye on that. I have not seen Dragon Prince on Netflix. A friend of mine told me about it, but it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. Nickelodeon gets more viewers than CNN. Well, shit. Captain Redneck, I think I do. What's up, Captain Redneck? I can't do that. Captain Redneck is on the bridge. Mark timed somebody out. Look at that. No spoilers. No spoilers. Star Trek trying not only to be Star Wars, but be as bad as new Star Wars. If it wasn't so bad, it'd be funny. It's kind of, Mark, it is kind of funny now. It really is. When Michael Burnham was, okay, there's a giant battle going on, and Michael Burnham and Spock are telling each other how much they love each other. By the way, Michael Burnham gets hit like dead on with one of the blasters from one of the Section 31 ships, and she's all, I'm okay. One of those blasters vaporized a shuttle. Go look at the shot. It vaporizes the shuttle, but it hits Michael Burnham. She's like, I'm okay. So stupid. You know what? CBS, keep making Star Trek Discovery, please. You know what? There is no certainty on YouTube. There is zero. But if you keep making Star Trek Discovery, that's as close to certainty as I will get. So go ahead. Go ahead. I don't care. You can make 10 seasons of Star Trek Discovery, and you can get the Parrot Analytics guys to call you the fourth. Is it right now? Because that's not counting Game of Thrones. So what else is out? What else is out right now? That's streaming. So it's the fourth most popular streaming thing for general interest. Okay. Star Trek. So Star Trek is the fourth most popular. Okay, good job. Wait, hey, that's better than fifth, but not quite as good as third. So you're a fourth place loser, basically. That's the power of Hollywood whamming for you. Can take a shuttle destroying a blaster to the chest and just laugh. Sith Bunny, damn straight. Walk it off, says Wonder Girl 60. Get some Robitussin. What's that from? The Picard series ever gets broadcasted or streaming someplace, I expect more Michael Burnham to show up on the show somehow. Tito, yes. Oh, they set it up. This is all a setup. Believe me, it almost feels like CBS is stuck with Kurtzman, and Kurtzman is doing things to guarantee his own job, like putting Michael Burnham in the Picard show. I just take it to the bank. It's going to happen. I mean, the Star Trek Discovery storytelling was everything you could do wrong in writing, they did. And in storytelling, they did. They contradicted themselves. They couldn't keep track of their own canon. I mean, they broke all their own rules. Fallopian Giorgio didn't as much as squint the entire second season, although she was in a reality that the light in the non-Terran universe is harmful, or not harmful, but it irritates people from the Terran universe. And I would contend that Discovery's fourth ranking is greatly based on people's bypassing CBS All Access via torrents. Yep. But that's more my intuition. Torrents have STD 720 1080p, so redundancy online. Yep. Well, and they're also using hashtags. They're also using how many people talk about it on, and believe me, just as much people hate the show as like it. If a bunch of us just stop caring, which I think a lot of people are at that. Listen, the Picard show is saving it right now. Again, if Star Trek Discovery was a healthy hit, they wouldn't be spending a bunch of money to get an almost 80-year-old Patrick Stewart back. Mr. Roboto says Teen Stargate seemed to work for a few seasons, but it wasn't an animated show on Nickelodeon. Fourth place isn't even a bronze. Michael Burnham will be a Federation president on Picard show. They'll have a university named for sure. Yeah. Archer says, I torrent. You sail the high seas. He sails the high seas, or she. I'm not sure. Thank you for Mr. Roboto for the $2 super chat. I do appreciate it. And that's where we will, you know what, folks, we'll end it. And really a big shout out to my wrenches. Thank you so much. I know it was tough. I tried to ignore. I hope there wasn't too many spoilers in there. I don't get to see everything in the chat. I try to get to as much of it as possible. So we will find out. We will find out tomorrow. I will be live tomorrow night after Captain Marvel. Now, I'm going to attempt my first Twitch live stream tomorrow morning. So Twitch, I have a Twitch channel. I don't have anything on there. I've been promising the stream. I was supposed to do it, during the day. Then last night, then I was on the High Council. A lot of stuff's come up, but I'm going to try it tomorrow morning. I do believe Midnight's Edge After Dark is going to start streaming in 28 minutes. So definitely go over there and tell them I sent you. And who knows, maybe I'll pop on for a second. I'll try. And yeah, so the Picard show, by all accounts, is not really officially filming yet. So we will see. We will see. What's going to happen to the MCU? Well, the MCU will go on. The MCU will make money, but it'll never be. This is the end of the MCU as we know it. So it's sad. It's a sad day. Tomorrow will be a sad day. And I won't even say. I've heard about the pacing of the movie is that's I've heard a couple people say it's got pacing problems. We'll see. We'll see. I'll probably love the hell out of it, and we'll see. But I will be live tomorrow after the film. I will be live tomorrow on Twitch. And of course, there's Friday Night Tights with Comics Division, and Josiah Rises has agreed to join. And I believe Odin from Odin's movie blog is going to join me next Friday. So yeah. So this Friday Night Tights, we got Josiah Rises, Odin, and we got Comics Division. And maybe Jeremy and Jeff will come on. We'll see. On Nerdrotic Live, I will be covering Doom Patrol on Friday morning. Yeah, a lot of fun stuff. And Exozone is kind of a weekly thing now, folks. So there you go. And you can find Exozone on Nerdrotic Live. So everybody, thanks for the super chats. Please go to nerdrotic.com for my live stream schedule. And I'll pull up my Patreon video. I've updated it a little bit. I still got to make like a proper new one. Thank you again for those of you who've donated stuff through the PO box, and that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to sprinkle it out through live streams. I've got a couple letters I need to read, so I'll be reading those Friday. Really nice letters, like really freaking cool. Is it Patreon 11 or 12? I can't remember. Yeah, it's that one. It's that one. I have to go do yard work now. It's very, very not exciting. There we go. And hail to you. Listen, every time I'm on the damn High Council, I get a bunch of subscribers. So thanks, all the new subscribers. Welcome. There'll be more videos coming. I do believe I do have another. I reserve the right to use the MCU to Brie or not to Brie title as a video. I'm just saying. Okay. Anna, that Star Wars girl is live. Oh yeah. Okay. So you have a choice. If you go see Anna, definitely go see Anna. If she's live right now, go see Anna and tell her I sent you. I love Anna. That Star Wars girl is awesome. She's brilliant. I want to get her on for our Game of Thrones recap. Yes, I will be live right after Game of Thrones airs with Dictor Van Doomcock, and we will be talking about Game of Thrones live. I have a Game of Thrones breakdown video that will be coming out probably tonight or tomorrow morning. I have a Captain Marvel video that's coming out tonight or tomorrow morning. I have a comic book retail video that's coming out by Friday. You guys love the comic book videos. I'm going to do them. So Stuart is getting, the show is going to cost $400 million. Arcturus 77. I don't think Stewart's getting it all, but he's getting quite a bit. But the show supposedly costs $400 million to make. It's supposed to be like the most expensive show ever this side of Game of Thrones. I don't know what this season of Game of Thrones cost, but it's a lot. It's a lot. Hail the fandom menace. Stay angry. That is for damn sure. And again, thank you for all the very generous super chats. They are greatly appreciated as always. They help keep the lights on around here. And Royo Stu, you are welcome. Thank you for joining me for the stream. There was like around 900 of you for a while there, and that is always appreciated. So everybody have a great day. Go see Anna, the Midnight's Edge. Tell them I sent you. Sir, read some. I get all giddy when Gary reads my posts. I try to read as much as I can. So thank you very much. Everybody have a great day, and may the small folks sing songs of your greatness. Enjoy Endgame as much as you can.